Duff over at Serious Land Capital, vacant land funding partner. Want to give you an update on LandPricer progress. So, feeling pretty accomplished at the moment. I just want to kind of record where things are at and have been just spending weeks trying to get demo videos for all of these various scripting elements for LandPricer. Again, you can check it out, landpricer.ai. It's been this software project that I've been working on for a bit over a year at this point, conceptualized even before that. That is just trying to put everything that we've learned and do within our land business to underwrite and perform diligence on land deals into a software form so that you can accurately price land across the entire US. And completing this piece right here, now I'm just waiting for engineering team to complete a final audit on their side so that we can upload the new script and get it out to our beta testers before the end of this week. That was the target. So, before we actually get, external eyes on this project for the very first time, I just kind of want to record this feeling of anticipation, some level of nervousness, how it might be received. Is it going to be a complete dud? Did I just mess things up entirely? And, is it going to even be accurate when we're testing across multiple different properties? We don't know that until actually get it out there. But I know that it put hundreds of hours of thought into this and how it will be most effective for both beginner and more advanced land investors, regardless of the types of properties that you're working with. So, I just wanted to record a couple key lessons that I've learned here. First, again, this has been roughly a year since I started working on the project, and initially I just totally messed up you're going to hear this a lot, like messed up considerable amount. It could have done so many things better in retrospect, but here we are. And I did not use who not how properly for close to the first half year of the project. I was just trying to find any spare hours to just work on the script myself, and it was just painstaking, constantly got pushed to the bottom of the pile as we were building up our funding business, and just progress was not being made. So, ultimately had to find a agency with script writing engineers that could really take all of my looms and process for how to review land deals and actually put that into a, if then else statement format across a multitude of different subtopics to be able to review any land parcel within the US. I probably could have gotten better pricing on that, and communication was less than ideal off the bat. I know I've remarked on this in another podcast, and we had to switch around some of the project managers. I nearly dropped the agency a couple months in after I paid them like a pretty big upfront fee to even start on the project. So that didn't feel the best. We eventually sorted it out, but in retrospect, I wish I would have priced out other similar agencies and interviewed a few other ones before selecting that script engineering team. It was referred over to me by a trusted colleague within Land, though he didn't use them personally. It was just he knew the operators. So that is a regret of mine. Probably cost somewhere in the five figures of extra expense associated with building out this project, and a lot of time I had to re-audit their work because there were just messed up communications back and forth beyond that. Then I had hired a separate firm, a separate team of contractors that was actually handling the back end and the front end development for the product. That I did a way better job of interviewing multiple different, having extensive conversations before solidifying them. I mean, they were more expensive than just the scripting engineering team. And even then, there was one US based project manager, and the rest of the engineers were based in Pakistan. So I was able to get a significantly lower hourly rate. I'm not sure I could have gotten much lower than that for the quality of work that needed to be done. So I'm pretty pleased with that setup because I think I saved a good amount of money compared to if I went to a full, US or Western Europe team instead. Nevertheless, still could have handled communications better and had more routine auditing as well. Like there was, in kind of peak development when both these teams were involved was last October, and I was gone traveling for like 2.5 weeks at a mastermind, and then in Italy for a mastermind. And then I had taken my wife out for a personal vacation right after that land mastermind in Italy. And that, I can't regret being out there as far as, memories made and so forth, but it was an extremely busy time for both LandPricer development as well as the business. And it just put, like, I regret kind of that timing or just stacking so much travel together at that point in time, especially being outside the Western Hemisphere, having to work late hours Europe time to keep up to date with what was going on in the US was really difficult. And just what I was paying these engineering teams, it was just hours, a few weeks really getting wasted because I couldn't properly audit their work and keep up a routine deep work schedule on my own while I was traveling. And so that ended up costing me a lot of money, fell behind with our target release dates and just progress on the project. So that was not ideal, and I would definitely change up planning for that. The issue is that like I had planned that particular trip a year in advance. So this was all planned and set in stone before I even began work in earnest on LandPricer. And then just it ended up matching to be like, busiest time for development with that trip. So it was just kind of a tough situation that ultimately 2020 hindsight could have planned better, but we dealt with it, burned extra cash, and then I had to catch up after that. It set us behind, but eventually we did get back in the groove there. Additionally, I should have been even more focused on the auditing process, especially on the scripting side. So once I saw that things were trending in a better direction, I was really focused on speed because initially I was trying to launch this project before the end of 2024. Now here we are in mid-February and it's still not launched. So I was really trying to rush and get things done, and we were making progress, but ultimately, even over the past 2 or 3 weeks, like I had to redo a lot of work that the scripting engineering team had done, and I had let them go from a retainer basis. Now I just pay them on an hourly rate, but that there's like a ramp up time if I have to bring them on versus a retainer when they were just on call. I was already over budget on the development costs for LandPricer, so that ended up costing me a lot of extra hours of work to sort through all of those mistakes. So that was another piece that was just concerning, and just, that type of work, like it's really deep to do too. And again, when we've just been, in big growth mode for the funding business, like I'm just, having to react and still put out a lot of fires within the base business. So if I have just like a spare half hour or something, it was hard to just like dive in and audit script engineering or record videos and really nail the process down from a user perspective. So I ended up trying to like set up a couple reactive days, and then I could take maybe a day or two a week of the deeper work on LandPricer so I could get that done. But I was just kind of getting irritated at myself. Like, yeah, why can't you just work harder and harder and do that? And I knew that if I saved like the deeper work till the end of the day, like my mind was just not it wasn't there, I was going to end up making more mistakes anyway. Like I need to be fresh to do that type of work. So, just had to balance that as best I could until I was able to get it done. Again, things got a little bit more delayed, probably by a month than I would have liked. But, here we are to where we're set to begin. Additionally, I would have wanted to do a lot more pre-marketing for LandPricer. Like I had some initial demos done, but I wanted to like warm up my email list and, show some of the work that we had been doing. And I just didn't get around to it. Like I was like, yeah, I need to get the actual scripting done, the videos done so the product can be set first. Like that is the most critical piece. Otherwise, I'm never going to get this thing released. And it was like the biggest blocker in my head. Like I didn't really look forward to working on that because it was just such a beast of effort to have to get through, and like the ancillary, now I have to like set up an email list and all that. And even if I can get like AI and a VA on it quickly, just like that initial push where you have to kind of set the templates and grease the groove for getting that set up. Like I just fell behind and I didn't get that done. So that might come back to bite me a bit as well from a marketing perspective. But here we are. I've been trying to mention LandPricer on podcasts and my Land Daily Diligence, occasionally via email, just individual emails and so forth. But yeah, that could have been handled better as well. Trying to think if there's a couple other elements here, like you can see. Hopefully that this might help some of you who might be undertaking some of this projects like these. Yeah, again, like I made a lot of mistakes, and again, just like full transparency. Initially, I'm fully financed this project personally. I didn't have my partners within Serious Land Capital involved here. Like I knew this was a bigger risk on my side, and it would have cut into our profits a lot to try to develop this product in-house. I didn't try to go raise outside capital or anything either. It's kind of like a Hormozy thing too, especially I've tried to do some software in the past. Like it didn't really go anywhere. And this is was my bigger push in an area that I know well. But, kind of like Hormozy says too, like if you're initially getting started in a new area, it's better to risk your own money versus other people's money, and have that reputation risk and so forth. And so, I thought initially I might be able to get this project up and going, like an MVP, minimum viable product out to the market, with like 20 to 30K of spend. I'm probably at about 75,000 that I've personally put into the project. And 70 to 80K was like my cap, where it's like, okay, that I have to get something out by then. And if I can't figure out any type of traction with users and figuring out if there's real value here, like I'm just gonna, that's an acceptable loss to me. It's a big number. I think for pretty much anybody who's not sitting on, multi-millions of dollars of liquidity or cash flow coming in all the time. So, to take that as personal risk there, like that was a big chunk. And so now all of that is sitting in, various business credit cards that, you strategically use the 0% APRs. And so I'll have to pay all of that off, Q3 of this year. So I was trying to time that. Yeah, can I get initial traction? And then, I don't expect revenue to come back and pay all that off. No, certainly not. Again, the whole intention is for this to be a loss leader. Initially in a lead magnet for our funding business, and eventually when we get more agentification into LandPricer where there's less user input needed, then it can be more of a premium product. But off the bat, because of the level of human effort required to utilize it, really want to prioritize, can we get more funding leads and help the land industry grow as much as it can, and avoid bad deals for as low of a price as I can afford for the projects. That's why I'm being as transparent as possible with, here's how much I spent, and how many hours I've spent personally on this. Like it's been a huge investment, like a year-long project, almost 100,000, out of my accounts that I might not ever get back. So there's definitely a certain level of stress here, and just, not knowing whether it's going to work with all that investment. So, maybe I could have done some of that different. as well. Gotten out a testable product for less spend. I'm not sure the best way to have done that because, I really wanted to make sure the quality was very, very solid before. And, it's a big vision too. Like it's not just like a simple little project trying to price all land in the ethers to do it well. And we have the reputation for being the best in the industry. Like it just takes a lot of effort. And I'm not going to, shovel out a shoddy product that hasn't undergone a lot of scrutiny and thought across the entire thing. So bottom line here as I wrap this up, very excited to get this out and tested amongst the initial beta tester group and assuming we can work out some of the kinks and all of that, get this arranged for a full launch to the industry. But yeah, I just wanted to record some of my excitement, anxiety, lessons learned so far over the past year. I can probably go into a lot more detail about all of those avenues. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this was of interest to you all. Subscribe if you want to ever hear more. Check out LandPricer.ai. I just remarked on this whole podcast, SeriousLand.capital for any of your funding requests for land deals, and Land Daily Diligence Facebook group for zero cost review of your land deals. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.